Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fabulous episode of Stories Around Azeroth. As always, I'm the magnanimous Pete Titans Queen Nethercoat, joined by the Christmas gnome, as always, as we enter a new year. One, Mr. Frazley Tastic.
Hello. I'm so sad that this is the final Stories on Azeroth for the year.
For the year, for the decade, my friend.
For the decade. Wow. Oh, wow.
That's it. You've had a decade of this podcast already. Could you believe it?
I cannot believe it. I mean, being on episode like 655. Oh, that
That's
is.
it,
Yeah.
I'm glad you pulled that number out of your ass, by the way.
Better than pulling out other things.
Yeah, that's it. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I am excited the podcast. It's been a good day. I was tired this morning, but coffee got at me, so now I'm all perky. Woo!
I've just been at work, so I've come back and I've played some video games. Now I'm recording this, and I'll probably go straight into editing it afterwards, so it's all ready for New Year's Day, because this year has been, it's been a thing.
Nice.
An episode on Christmas Day, an episode on New Year's Day. It's all splendiferocious. We are here once again talking about Warcraft stuff, ladies and gentlemen. No news this week. Next week episode, we are joined by a special guest, one that we've had on before, one Miss Alessandris K of Dungeon Fables, and we'll be doing a deep dive into 8.3.
Nice.
It's going to be good. We'll have this perspective of myself, a raider, Mr. Frazley, who dips into content and plays what he likes, and I believe Ali is a raid lead. Did you say?
Yes, and a guild leader.
And a guild leader as well. So it's a couple of different perspectives itself. I mean, generally there's different perspectives between farming for mounts, farming for whatever we want to do, and farming for raid kills. I'll ask Ali next week, but do you know what difficulty she raid leads for?
I believe it's heroic. I know she runs heroic with rubber chickens,
Fair
but
enough.
I believe
Heroic's the only content I clear. I haven't got the time to do mythic progression anymore.
Oh, I do mythic. I was actually the world first mythic progression.
Really?
Yeah. I was the first one to raid. I just put myself into a hole.
Are you looking forward to the world first race?
Yeah, I am, because I like seeing people have fun, and I enjoy their setups. I have to say they always have amazing setups.
I'm surprised that Method haven't announced that they're doing the race to world first yet, because normally they do it after they have a date. But it's interesting.
Yeah. I'm guessing that maybe they're working on the market materials and stuff like that and trying to get things ready, because I mean,
Well, they
holidays.
have most of it. I'd assume they'd have been working on it from like the minute they knew that what they were fighting. So it'll be interesting. As long as my favourite casters are around again, that's all I'm interested for.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go and see that. But yes, today we are talking about our favourite Warcraft-related moments of 2019. We thought we'd, throughout the year, and just talk about some happy memories and bits and pieces. So, I don't know, like, it's been a bit of a weird year for Warcraft. This one for me has personally been one that I've taken a bit of a step back with in terms of how long I'm in the game, because, I don't know, BFA just hasn't really sat well with me. We'll see how well Shadowlands comes around and changes things. But, you know, for the most part, I've enjoyed doing what I'm doing. I've switched mains myself to Demon Hunter from a monk, and I did that. I did that after we killed Gahoon on Heroic. Took a break, missed the next tier, and switched over to Demon Hunter. And I've really enjoyed the Demon Hunter for the rest of the expansion. It's been really fun. And we'll see how it's like in the next raid tier. But it's so much better for soloing compared to every other class. Like,
Yeah.
I think it will change when there's a rebalance in Shadowlands. But we'll see. But yeah, otherwise it's just been a year of mounts for me. finally, one of the best moments. I'll say this first. One of my best moments is finally getting the Astral Cloud Serpent after years of farming.
If only rain mounts for you.
That's it. Finally, rain mounts. I mean, anyone who's on Fraz's Discord would know about the mounts. I think someone even mentioned at one point saying, "Of course you did," when I mentioned I got mounts. Yeah. What about you? Give us one of your favorite moments of the year.
I mean, I have to go for the big one probably to start out is definitely BlizzCon, because that experience was something else. I'm still looking back at that like, one, I can't believe that the community rallied behind me going, and two,
yeah, that was a big thing. I remember that.
It blew me away. I mean, it blew my socks off. I mean, it's so much so that
as he takes his socks off,
I'm still not wearing socks.
Feet on the cast.
But yeah, it really was it was amazing. Like, people that I saw and met, like I've heard people, seen people, and being able to talk with them one-on-one and give them hugs. There was nothing like that. And it was amazing to be like, wow, people are real, and that there are other people out there. There was actually one day where I was sitting with Ali and Brandon, and we were just eating lunch, just chilling out while all these people are walking around with their groups, and be like, wow.
I guess it really is one of those moments that you get to sit there and just be like, because the only time I've really ever felt like that is when you have your guild meetups and you get to meet the people that you're playing with for like the first time. So that's kind of the only times I really get to see that myself personally. So yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one. I'm really happy that you got to go in the end, you know, even because you got gifted a ticket, even though it wasn't by Christy Golden, even though by the sound of it, you probably would have got that ticket anyway.
And that was cool then, that because of that, I also got to meet Christy Golden, and Christy Golden was bragging about me to the writers of WoW, and I'm like, Christy Golden is bragging about me to the people in this. I'm like, that was fun, and Christy's, she is sweet. She's really kind, and I loved seeing everybody walking up to her and just enjoying meeting her, and she enjoyed meeting them.
That's brilliant. So, I'm going to share a story of when I got to meet one of the Warcraft devs. So, at CoxCon this year, there was a special guest at the convention over in Telford. There was one Mr. Terran Gregory in attendance. He was actually on his holiday over here, and he came and popped by the convention because he's a good friend with Jesse Cox. And we were just heading between to like the panel, and I said, I'm going to get a hot chocolate ready for that and drink it at the panel. And right there was Terran. And out of the group of like 6 of us, I was just like, I'm just going to ask him for a photo because it's literally a real bucket list moment. And I just asked, and he was happy, and then he had to do another 5 photos because people started realising who he was. But yeah, no, I was real happy about that. I got that, and
doesn't he have so much energy?
He's got a lot of energy. It's insane. If you ever get to, I think it's up on YouTube somewhere, but the panel that he did with Terran is a real panel to watch. Like, it shows Terran's how he got into the animation and how he got into doing Warcraft animation and everything else. So yeah, no, it's good. He's real down to earth, real smiley and everything else. So it's really, really cool. So that was my second favourite moment of 2019.
Trying to think of, I think another one that I really enjoyed was that this was the year that I really started streaming consistently, and it was kind of cool. I was flying to do Ashes recently after I learned that Ashes comes off of Kael'thas. And I was remembering about a year ago, I was just leveling my Paladin, I believe, through the Netherstorm area, and just the people that were hanging out with and chat with me at the point was thinking like, wow, it doesn't feel like a year went by like that. some of the same people that were watching that stream were there a year ago, and it was just that moment felt really cool.
That's really cool. I'm gonna just land. I think. Do I want to turn around and just say my favourite moment now? I don't think there's been much more memorable stuff for me. But my greatest, I want to say, Warcraft moment of 2019 is finally sorting out the podcast, like making this, setting up with Frazley. I mean, that alone is like it's gone from just a casual meeting in the DPS Discord into just working with the man. Like, Frazley's super down to earth, he's super chill to work with, super friendly, super helpful all the time. Just sounds like I'm just going to put a stick up your ass now and just wave you around and go like, this man is amazing.
You wouldn't be the first one to think that I've got a stick up my butt.
No, I'm putting the stick up your butt to wave you around like a flag. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure. Frazley's super helpful and everything else. He's super chill to talk to. We don't do a lot outside of the podcast, unfortunately, just mostly because time zones are actually a thing. But
yeah,
there's been times where we've jumped in each other's streams and bits and pieces and just hung around. And Mr. Frazley's come and supported the charity work that I've done this year and everything else. And he's going to help me with a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well. Frazley is the big reason that we get so many guests on the show. He is a righteous gnome, as Capo is saying in the chat. I don't think I'd be able to do the cast without Frazley. While it would be good to work with someone, there's a very different atmosphere you get with working with different people, and I don't know, it's really fun. It's really fun talking to Fraz, mostly because it's a different perspective that you get on the game, and sometimes I want to say that sometimes when you play Warcraft yourself, even if you raid with others, you get stuck within a personal bubble of how you see the game. Getting to talk to somebody or reading Twitch chat and how people play the game and just talking to someone else and how they view the game and what they want to do with their personal viewpoints, perspective, achievement, goals, it does put a whole different spin on how you would look at the game. And that is something that is very, I have to be thankful, it's a very good, memorable thing. Because it gives me a different perspective when I look at the news and be like, instead of looking at how this would affect me, I look at how would it affect somebody that's new to the game? How would it affect somebody that's a casual, not a casual is the wrong word, it's a pretty dirty word that people have made it. Someone that has not as much free time to play the game.
Yeah.
It's a different viewpoint to have, and it's very helpful. It's one I wouldn't have without Frazley, to be honest. But yeah, he's a big part. He helps a lot getting the guests on, because a lot of the guests that we do have are American time zone and everything else, so it's definitely something. Yeah, just the biggest memory is just the Warcraft related memory for me is starting the cast, continuing it on for 32 episodes as of recording. We've only missed 1 week, and that's just Christmas is gonna screw everything up in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favourite one. Thank you, Mr. Frazley, for, well, not 32, 30 episodes I've done with you. 31. Wow. 31 episodes, yeah. Long may it continue.
Yes. I'm going to add you in with another memory that I have, because you and Michael, I met in the Dragon Powered Studio back when it was the Blue Recluse Discord, and being part of this podcast, and then Michael and I are part of the Genome Project. It's fun every week getting to talk with somebody and on a regular schedule, because that is one thing. I don't play games a lot with other people because schedules just don't always match up, and it's nice being able to have like I'm going to set aside this time every week. We're going to do this. We're going to talk, and we may not talk a lot throughout the week, but it's fun getting here and talking at the same time. And it's been fun doing both of these projects, having that consistent. And I love that ultimately I'm not the one responsible. I mean, I'm right now I'm hosting the stream for the Genome Project, but in a way I consider it Michael's the one in charge in a way, kind of thing, like we'll be doing at this time. And I'm glad for here that you host and that you do the editing, so it's one less podcast I have to edit.
It's enjoyable. It's something else.
Yeah.
I mean, It's good. I mean, it's good for me in the long run because it's content that I get to do, and you know, I've edited videos for 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. I've been editing videos for now. Not on a massive scale with like Adobe and everything else, but yeah, all the way back when I used to do things. And I'll tell you this for naught: doing podcasts and YouTube content, it allows you to speak very freely, very openly to people, and especially when it comes to podcasts and interviews. It means that you're very open to talk to other people. It definitely helps a lot with that, which is not something a lot that people can say, because people are very insular. It can be very insular. I think it helps you be able to talk to people.
One cool thing about that is by having the platforms that we do, when I'm in other settings, I don't have to be the alpha in a lot of situations, because I'm like, I have a place I can speak freely. People think of me as a expert in a way. Then when I'm in a regular group, okay, it's okay if I don't speak up a lot. And there are a lot of group settings where, like during the family gatherings, we've got 2 alphas in our family, and they each are like, I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here. Oh, interesting. I don't need to be right, because you know what? I really don't care what you think. I care more about what people like Capo and Ali and Pete think. I don't care what you think, family.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun to do and be, and I think Warcraft, even if it peters out, there'll always be the friends we made along the way, as cheesy as that sounds. Like with Capo and like your entire Discord in general, like Frazley, like I feel like it's opened up a great many more avenues of like friends outside of like the European circle that I would have, because the amount of times I wake up in the morning and your Discord is just full of just like the conversational chats between the Americans, and then you've got the Australians, which kind of share the time zone as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There's stuff there. Obviously, I don't get to communicate that much unless it's like about this time of the day, but there's only so much I can do. I'll pop in with a nugget of wisdom every now and again. That'll be about it.
And you're right. It's the skills that we've learned here too. That if WoW does go away, like I've been in multiple communities around a game or a piece of software that have petered out or I've lost interest in, but I still have friends from one of those. I found out that one of my friends, actually a moderator on my Minecraft server, they found their best friend through my Minecraft server. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, literally, I was at BlizzCon at a party, and someone says, "Hey, just want to let you know that I went to Japan with one of my friends." I was like, that shows the power of connections and friendships. That you never know who's gonna become friends anywhere.
I've made so many friends through this game. It's insane. Like in the 15 years I've played the game, it's insane how many people I've like. There's a very close group of people that I would consider like really close friends and everything else, and those are the people that I see pretty much on a yearly basis. Like I see them every couple of times a year and everything else. So it's definitely a lot of fun to see and talk to those friends as well. But it'd be nice to see more people. Like, but that's just I don't know. As we get older, guild meets seem to go to the wayside. Just especially where there's Discord, where it's just easy to jump on and talk to people. You know. Yeah.
And never underestimate the power of engagement. I have heard a stat that of the people that hear you, 3% will ever engage with you. And like that was at BlizzCon. I had somebody, Harlow, they had me sign their book, and we had never talked beforehand. I don't think. I mean, we might have talked a little bit, but they were like, they told me that they were a silent listener, and I was like, that shows the power of influence. I mean, I also want to say that it makes me realize when I speak out somewhere, it has to have impact. It has to be careful what I say. I can't just be one of those people on Twitter that says something because I don't want to offend somebody, and I also don't want to do harm. And there's a level of responsibility.
There is definitely a level of responsibility, and I think you feel that more when you have. I think there's a big social presence that you have on the internet these days, and when people like Harlow, you said, comes up to you, and you have that thing where he gets you to sign something because he knows who you are and he wants something like that. I think it's moments like that that make you realise you have that social following, and you have to be careful what you say and do and everything else. And
yeah, like this past year, we had 2 events in Blizzard's timeline of two events that I think we as a community would have wished had not happened. And in both of them, I tried to be very careful what I said because I didn't want to spread misinformation. I didn't want to add to it in the wrong way. And it was one of those, old me might have just off the top of my head said what first thing that came to mind, but I really thought hard on what I said.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. I think we opened up a Pandora's box there with that last thing. I was not expecting how deep that information to go there. Woo. Have you done anything? What's your week of Warcraft been? Have you managed to catch up? Now that you're back off holiday and back to your normal routine, you managed to catch up with what you were doing and everything else?
Yeah, I got the Merrymaker achievement finally. So that was
well done.
I had to go and kiss a bunch of brothers, so that was fun. So got some nice smooching in. And then I also then had to go into Korak's Revenge, which was the perfect timing, because then I followed in a group. I did not do the AFK strategy, which I think if you do the AFK strategy, you need to off.
I mean, when you say the AFK strategy, I presume you mean close to the warfare, but not actually engaging in the warfare.
Yeah, because what I did was I was in the group, I was DPSing, but I wasn't the, hey, look at me, because I knew with the Santa hat, I was making myself a target for the Horde to go after. So I stayed in, kind of stayed near the healers and stuff like that.
Made yourself a target at the group of healers. Great A. Yeah, no. Anything else?
Other than that, because I got Merrymaker. I'm trying to think of it.
I'm being told you got taken through Heroic Deathwing.
Yes, Capo took me through Heroic Deathwing, so thank you, Capo, for that. I really appreciate that because that was I still have not learned how to solo Deathwing.
I'll tell you what. I have a lot of free time coming up this week. I'm probably aiming to stream some Warcraft a little bit, level up some alts in the time off I've got coming up over the new year. So at one point, I think, depending on how well I manage to get my characters up and geared, we might get to close to the 18 characters, and I might run one of them through Deathwing, like all of Dragon Soul, rather than just all traction, to show you how you can solo it.
Oh, okay, because I was thinking I can't run with you because of the EU.
Can't run with me, but I might show you how you can solo it. Speaking of stuff that's changing, only the Penitent actually changed, didn't it?
Yeah, and we only found out about it the day after Spaz and I ran through. So we did that on Thursday, and we got 6 people for it, and actually got quite a few people Glory of the Islands Raider, so that was cool.
Hey.
Then we find out, because Ali posted on All Things Azeroth, that Warcraft Secrets found out that you did not need more than 2. And I was like, yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Live and learn. You see them do these things. Yeah, I'm looking. What have I done this week? So I've got back into trying to get my Paragon boxes ready for the patch. So far, I've got, oh my god, I think I've got 5 different factions, but I've got 2 boxes with 1 faction ready. So I've got like 6 boxes on launch ready with a load of Azeroth ready for me. So when patch day rolls around, I'll have a fair bit of Azeroth ready to go. I'm trying to get Volpira done on my mage. I'm about not 8,000-9,000 away. I probably could have got through quite a fair bit this week if I had turned around and if I had turned around and done the world quests every day. But there's only so much time I actually have to do stuff. But there's still some time left with the 15% rep buff before the year goes, so I'll probably get some time doing some world quests and bits and pieces. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just spent my time doing world quests and trying to farm that silly last music disc from Mechagon to actually finally be done there.
I got to use another one of my puns that I've used probably before here. You're short on a gnome thing.
I am short on a gnome thing. It's not.
Is it making you short?
Probably. I'll tell you what I am. I am looking forward to having mecha gnomes.
Yes.
I haven't decided what class, but I've got that. I want the heritage armor, and I think I had a mount planned and everything else, and particular weapons that I want to use with it and everything else. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think Alliance side, I've only got 4 characters left to level, which is Gnome, Dwarf, Dark Iron, and Cold Tyran.
Wait, you're waiting on Gnome
Void
to
Elf.
level?
Void Elf as well, 5 characters.
Gnome should be your first one that you level. Every expansion, Gnome should be the first one.
You can't make a Gnome Demon Hunter, I'm afraid. Not yet.
Oh, true. See, it shows that we're not evil. So Capo, you shouldn't kill us then.
You can make Gnome Death Knights, which are clearly evil.
Well, yeah. You got me there.
Yeah, I know. But that's... Have you got anything planned for the next week? Other than making sure we're all ready for next week's deep dive?
Other than that, I'm not 100% sure because we still got family here, so trying to figure out what I want to do. I mean, I may go into Lore Master and work on that. Michael and I are starting up the Genome Project on Wednesday, so getting back into that one.
You're streaming New Year's Day, are you?
Yep. Unless he gets
waylaid by life.
Yeah, so he says unless the night before is a pretty wild one, we should be good.
Fair enough. Brilliant stuff. I'm just going to continue my reputation grinds. Try and get as many Paragon boxes. I think I should be able to have one for each rep ready to go, at least.
Nice. You are a beast, and I'm. See, we're like two ends of this of the
spectrum.
Yeah, you're like the one who has everything. I'm like,
I do want to point out that you only need to spend an hour a day, and I proved this right at the beginning of the expansion. You could put an hour a day in and just do the world quest you want to do. You don't have to do everything. Just cherry pick your world quest that you want to do your Tortolan, do your Champions of Azeroth, do your sum for Nashtatar. You can do everything in an hour. Just do and then just do the world tour, as I like to call it. So it'll obviously change with what's it called?
Visions of N'Zoth.
Yeah, the N'Zoth visions and everything else, and the invasions, because that's a weekly thing. It'd be interesting to see how that changes the way invasions work, because if people really like the way that those change, I have a feeling they'll become the given thing whenever they do invasions in the future again.
Oh, so next expansion, instead of having any world quests, we just have invasions.
No, well, I doubt that'll be it. I think world quests are going to be a thing forever, because people like world quests more than they like going to get dailies and everything else.
Yeah.
But people are so sick of world quests, that's why they've reintroduced dailies in this expansion. So it's a little bit of both, and I think that's the way it's going to stay. And I hate it because it feels more like a login and do a daily bar type thing. But who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll talk more about this next week. Anything else you want to talk about this week? I think we're pretty much done with our.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I mean, this past year, really overall was me embracing who I am, trying to be more okay with being okay with people not liking me or people liking me. It's finding out that I'm not going to please everybody.
I mean, I've worked with that mindset for a very long time personally, but the question is, do you feel happy with that mindset?
Absolutely, because
that's all
I don't need to be anybody else. I don't need to have everybody like me, but the ones who like me, like Leo Wild and Capo, at least I assume they like me. I mean, and you, the people that like me makes me feel good. And hey, I don't need to dance naked on Twitch to get donations.
That's it. That is it. I don't know.
I did not just say that. I'm
sure somebody will clip it and put it up on all the social medias. But you are as Twitch chat is saying, Fraz, you are indeed awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You are the awesome gnome. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for this week of Stories Around Azeroth with myself and Frazley. Mr. Frazley, where can they catch you around the internet?
On Twitter at Frazlytastic, where I post pictures of cats. You can find my podcast where I talk with new people every week. Well, sometimes returning guests, but new people. Like I have my ballroom dance partner on the latest one at gnomepodcast.com. And you can find me on Twitch at gnome.live.
Gnome.live. Brilliant stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch me on the Twitters at Titans Creed. You can see it above my head if you're watching the video. You can see Frazley's Twitter if you're watching the video as well. You can catch me at Project Phoenix Productions on YouTube and Twitch for VODs of this podcast, or you can catch us live. And as I said, I'll be doing a lot more streaming when the new year rolls around in a few days.
Are you going to be dancing naked on Twitch?
I will not be dancing naked on Twitch. I have the green screen to do that. I could work with that. The last thing I need to do is give Marty and Tom something to play with. Too much. So, we've already seen that Marty has true power when it comes to green screen and abuse, so I try not to give it to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You can catch us on the Twitches and everything else. We'll see you next week for another Stories Around Azeroth. We'll have Ali on. We'll be going into a deep dive of 8.3. Join us. I believe we're at the same time next week.
No, we are, well, same time, but different day. Yes. And I believe maybe an hour earlier if you...
We might be. Real life will be a thing. Watch the Twitter feed. Follow the channel. All that jazz. A, it helps me. B, it helps the cast. C, you'll know when we're live.
Yes.
Pretty much. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for 30 episodes so far of Stories Around Azeroth for the year of 2019. Long may it continue. Got no thoughts about ending it anytime soon. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And as Mr. Frazley always likes to say,
be awesome.